Good afternoon. It is good to be able to be on here, Facebook Live, on what day is today? Thursday, April 23rd. And maybe some of you noted yesterday that I was confused, at least last night. For whatever reason, I thought I was supposed to quote the fighter verse yesterday. My brain was confused on what day it was, and I think that a lot of us can relate. What day is today? But today is the day of quoting the fighter verse, and the fighter verse is from Hebrews 13, verses 5 and 6. Keep your life free from the love of money and be content with what you have, for he has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. So we can confidently say, the Lord is my helper. I will not fear. What can man do to me? That's the fighter verse for this past week. And before I comment on that a little bit, I did want to give, hopefully, some encouragement just with regards to Bible memory again, some tips. With the Fighter Verse app, they actually have quizzes, but they also put all the verses to song. And so you can click a button and they have two different types of songs that you can listen to for those verses. I'm going to say this, that if you click on one of the verses, it says sing the verse from fighterverses.com. The songs are really cheesy, but they get stuck in your head. And so they end up becoming very helpful in Bible memory. Putting the word to music helps in memorization. And I was reminded of that again, even with this verse this past week, because actually a few years ago I came up, I believe it was my own rendition, my own song for this verse. And when I went to rememorize these verses, the song came right back in my head, and I knew about half of the verse because I had that song stuck in my head. So again, I want to encourage the Fighter Verse app. Go ahead and get that. Or if you don't have that, try to find ways that you can put the verses to song. Now, wanting to comment just briefly on this verse. I was struck just this afternoon with how this verse tries to ground us first in our knowledge of God and then moves us to how we view our circumstances. And how often we as human beings don't work that way. Often we as human beings go the opposite direction. We start with our circumstances and then go to God. Like Hebrews 13 says, the Lord is my helper, therefore I will not fear. And therefore, what can man do to me? Whereas I think I can often go the opposite direction. Oh, what could man do to me? Oh, he could do this, he could do this, he could do this, he could do this. Therefore, I'm going to fear. And then, in my fear, I'm going to say, God, are you even here? Are you even helping? Whereas the author of Hebrew works it in the other direction. The Lord is my helper. I will not fear. As a result, what can man do to me? Now, by the way, another beauty of Bible memorization is that as you memorize various passages, you start to see connections with other passages. So about a month ago, our church was working on memorizing Psalm 121. I lift my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your helper. The Lord is your shade on your right hand. And what does that mean to be the shade on our right hand? The right hand is the symbolization of power and strength. God shading that means that God is our protection. God will keep us going. God will motivate and move us and strengthen us even in the midst of the challenges. And by the way, that Psalm 121 does seem to work in that opposite trajectory. I lift my eyes to the hills. Like I'm in the valley and I'm going, God, what in the world? What is going on? But the psalmist seeks to have the godly mindset. So he lifts his eyes to the hills. and he finds God is his helper. God is his helper. He shades his right hand. He'll strengthen us. He'll keep us in the midst of this COVID crisis and craziness and concerns and what in the world is life going to be like, all the wonderings that we have. God is the shade on our right hand. The Lord is our helper. Therefore, I will not fear. I will not fear. That's something we got to preach to ourselves because the Lord is our helper. What can man do to me? Well, the worst thing man can do to me is kill me. But to live is Christ and to die is gain. Because why? The Lord is our helper. Because of Jesus Christ and through faith in him, we have eternal confidence. Thanks for watching. Hope you're encouraged. If you have any other comments you want to add, feel free to add them below here.